All right, guys, took a little while to get the mic unmuted. Anyway, welcome in. Welcome back to Above Ground World News. Man, the fear porn is going crazy on the mainstream. Now, looking into the models, I don't think it's going to be near what they say, but hey, man, anything could happen when you're engineering the storms. But that's why I always say we have to watch the weather modification as it comes. Hope the audio is doing okay tonight. And, oh yeah, calling for snow in Wisconsin. Yeah, for supposedly being the hottest year on the planet, man. It sure has been a cold-ass year on the planet. So you can't believe anything the mainstream says anymore. It's all propaganda. It's all lies, and it's all by the script. We're going to jump into this now. I didn't have time to get a bunch of articles or anything up. We're just going to go with it here tonight because couldn't get enough time to get ready. So we're just going to wing this as we go. Like articles this: Hurricane Dorian is not your typical Florida tropical cyclone. This storm has been far from ordinary. So, it talks about all this, how it should be hidden here and all that stuff. I'm not going to read into all this because we're going to go right into the maps and stuff. You got these guys here at the New York choke job. Hurricane Dorian could hit Florida as a Category 5. Ooh, scary. If winds can hit 157 miles an hour. Yeah, right. We'll get in here. We'll get the truth out of this. We got to get past all this fear porn out here. Hurricane Dorian continues to strengthen, expected to reach a Category 4. They don't know. This thing shouldn't even be there. According to the mainstream, Monday night, there was zero chance of tropical storms forming. Zero. But they deleted all the videos. Isn't that funny how when the mainstream, when the script changes, they just delete all the evidence? Kind of like when things happen like the Paradise Fires, you're in a, multi-year drought, mega intentional fire starts, and then all of a sudden the rain comes in and washes away the evidence. That's not coincidence. They're going after the Epstein Island. They're going to wash away the evidence. There must be a bunch of stuff there that they don't want out, so they're going to try to wipe it out. You got all the mainstream talking about the king tide. We also have solar winds coming in at the same time. They got all this stuff, to scare the people to go into Home Depot and Lowe's and buy all this stuff. There's definitely probably going to be a flood, but let's get in here. We'll take a look at this. We got a couple of buoys out here in event mode off the West Coast. What the heck? We'll try to get into the earthquake stuff here in a little bit. I'm just trying to go through some of the tabs I had up here, and we're checking out the more microwave imagery, looking for signs of manipulation, and we'll get back into that. Okay, we got this running. So for one thing, the track shouldn't even be going like this. I mean, we're going to try to dig into this. And also, we have, solar wind that's supposed to be coming in. But what I want to show you, let me get down here to some of the tools here. No surface charging at this point. But I wanted to go down here into the Earth's thermostat. All right, did I pass it? Let's see, electron flux. I'm looking for the real-time ionosphere. There's that. And then the Schumann resonance. So we got a little spike going, getting ready to fire up right now. We got some stuff going on with the atmosphere. The ionosphere is being completely manipulated right now. We're going to show you. Check this out. Look at the ozone. We got a huge ass hole in the ozone. Actually, a couple of huge holes down in Antarctica. That only means one thing. That means they're messing with the ionosphere, which is leading to a rapid heating event, which we just seen what them will do. If you guys remember the polar vortex, remember this winter, the Arctic plunge, the coldest air, you know, people have felt in the United States. It was so cold, it was not normal. Well, they're doing the same thing. They're doing it again. Wow, what the heck? This thing just shot off on us here. Yeah, so Sunday we should be getting some auroras in here. You know what? I'm not going to even get into all this. We're going to go straight into the information. Like I said, we'll try to get back to the data buoys. Now, first thing I look at when I come home is I get on here and look at the maps. I look at where the aerosols are being deployed, because that tells me where the storm is going to go. And we can see right off the bat, we have a major spraying operation going right up from the south, right up into the backside of this storm. You have the ionospheric heater right here, Arecibo. So it's helping guide the storm. So where is all the aerosols being deployed right now? That's going to tell us where it's going. Well, they're right here. Right where we said they would be. They're right here off of West Palm Beach. They're over on the other side. I mean, we got tons of aerosols being deployed. Also got some on the ground video footage and pictures of all the planes out here laying the trails. This is how they're guided. They want it to go south, which is not a normal track for the hurricanes. So they want this thing to go right on up, hug the islands, and then cut right on down and go into southern Florida. Then they want to try to make it sit there, but I don't think it's going to happen. We're going to look. You know what? This hurricane right here looks just like this land hurricane up here. They're doing the same thing. They're aerosols being deployed into the storm, creating like a land cyclone. Same thing up here. We got mega aerosols still being deployed, but this today they're up farther north. They're up here in BC. We got mega aerosols, big time. We got the, you know, microwave clouds up here. This thing is also being hit by electromagnetic energy, and Alaska's still burning up. All right, let's go ahead and get into some things here. So I wanted to go ahead and take a look at this. See, they're showing this thing as a category 4 when it hits. Let me put a couple of the other tracks on. So they're starting to agree a little bit more. But let's go ahead and jump into something that's going to help us here. Let me get out of this. Let me shut that down. Let's just use the earth null. It'd be much easier. Make sure we're on now. Oh, first thing I want to show you. Let me get right here. All right, guys. I don't know if you remember the polar vortex from winter, but we have one going on even bigger down here in the southern hemisphere. Let me try to get this going here. Now what they're doing, they're getting ready to shift the winds. Now we've documented this, man. This right here tells you that the ionospheric heaters are screwing with the ionosphere, because what happens is they snap the ionosphere up, and then when they snap it back, it creates these compression events. Now we watched one over the winter where they actually steered it over the United States. It got going too far, so they hit it from the other side and they parked it over the United States, which I'll show you that here in a minute. I mean, it was insane. So yeah, we got a rapid heating event going on in Alaska, or in the Antarctica. So that's going to play some factors too, but we'll get into that here in a minute. Let's go ahead and get back into the storm at hand. Make sure I'm on now. All right, guys. So first thing I want to show you, let's go ahead and go on down to the surface winds. Now this thing, the Earth Null School, this thing has been really accurate on the hit zones where it's going to hit. We still need like one more day, and this thing will be really accurate. But what I want to pay attention to is the winds. All right, so right now it's sitting around 41 miles an hour. Hey, thanks out there, Cassandra. Oh, wow, I'm giving thanks out there. Thanks, Bamboo. Thanks, Rare Breeds over there on D Live. I got your mail in the PO today, so thanks, Tim. And I can't tell if that's Penny or Amy or I'm not sure, Jenny. Anyway, thanks. Much love out there to the D Live family and the Twitch and the YouTube and the Facebook and all that. All right, so we're looking at 41 mile an hour winds today. Let's move this up a day. All right, so here we are. We're at 66 mile an hour, 68 mile an hour. You know, it's about as the high as I can find, 54 miles an hour. So according to this, it's not even a category 1 yet on the 30th. So let's go up another day. Here we are on the 31st, 70 miles an hour. We're getting closer to the threshold of a hurricane. But I mean, I'm seeing 64, 55, 59, 61. Let's try going up another day. So as we get closer, right now this is showing it right where the chemtrails are. I mean, this is showing they're guiding it right with the chemtrails. So today, here we are, 78 miles an hour. We're at hurricane force winds, barely. You know, you got to be at, I think, 75 sustained winds here, 74, 68, 66. Let's go up another day. This takes us up into the second. So it's showing it hitting landfall. Got a 77 mile an hour wind, 76, 80, 66, 81. So the highest wind speeds I'm finding so far is 81. 83, okay, we got an 83 in here, 84. So I think that's like a category 2 maybe. But we still have the Sahara dust factor. We have the storms that could push it off and out. So we're going to take a look at all these little wind factors. Let's go ahead. Oops, I hit the wrong thing there. So looking at it right here off the Earth Null School, you know, we're not looking at no category 4. We're not looking at no category 5. You know, we're looking at barely category 1. In fact, I'd have to look up because I really don't remember what the wind speeds need to be. I know it's 75 for a category 1 or 78 or something like that. But, yeah, my voice kind of messed up today. So according to this, we're looking at, you know, roughly a category 1, maybe a category 2, if a category 2. So I don't know where their modeling is coming in here. Let's go ahead and back it up back a few days again. Let's try checking the energy levels. Let's see what kind of energy it's working with. Well, it's got a little bit, but it's not nothing, you know, major. You got all this dust mixed in here. You know where the energy is up here. Now, if this was down here, I could see this turning into a category 5. But right now, this is where it is right now. It's just got a little bit of energy out here. It's not like a whole lot. Let's go ahead and put it on the precipitation. Let's move this sucker back up where it's getting closer to the coast. So right there, let me back it up a few hours, just like right when it hits landfall. So we got 78, 76 mile an hour winds, 80, oh, there's a 90, 93. So here we are, 94 miles an hour. You know, they were talking 154 mile an hour winds. Let me back it up a little more. We're trying to see where what the highest wind we can find, like right before it hits land here. There's 87, 82, 77, 85. Let's back it up one more spot here. So it's actually, this is actually showing it getting stronger right when it hits the coast. kind of like Hurricane Michael. Remember that? That was a fabricated storm for sure. This is what this one's going to be. It's going to be just like Hurricane Michael. It's going to be a wind weapon. So right now the highest one we found was around 94, 95. Yeah, 95. Oh, 63, 81. I'm just trying to find the highest wind speed possible. This is the amount of rain, or the 3-hour precipitation for. Oh, I can zoom in a little more now. That'll help. It's about 92. Put this on inches. So you're looking at, 2 3/4 inches to 3 1/4 inches every 3 hours. So, typical rain bomb rain. So let me go ahead and now go back up. So there, that looks a little bit pretty strong. There's 79, 83, 83. And it's super small, man. This is like a miniature hurricane. This thing is not the right size. It's too little. Something is wrong. So let me go ahead and back that up. All right, so right now the highest wind speed we could find is 94, 95. Let's see. Let me see if we can Google search the hurricane winds. Hell, what would you call that? Well, let's try this. Yeah, I had to work late today, man. Okay. So category 1 is 74 through 95. So we're looking at a category 1 storm, guys. We're not looking at a category 5 or a 4. You're talking 130 to 156 miles an hour. I don't think this small a hurricane could produce that kind of winds. I think we're looking at some major fear porn. This hurricane should not even be out here. It shouldn't even be here. Let's go ahead and get it back on now. Who knows? This thing could break apart and not do nothing. That's what it should be doing. Let's go ahead and check the sea level pressures. Still all high pressure out here. All of it. It's high pressure. You know where the low pressure is? A little bit down in here. That's why they're trying to steer it down south. They're trying to get a little more of that low pressure in there. Let's check the humidity. Let's check the total precipitable water. You got plenty of water to work with. This is the atmospheric river. See, they've split the atmospheric river. It's torn apart right here. Let's go ahead and check the ocean wave heights. If you got 140, 150 mile an hour winds, you're talking, 50-foot seas. Let's get this thing a little closer to shore here and see what kind of waves we're looking at. 26 foot, 26.2, 24. So you're looking at, 20-foot waves. That's really not that big. That's a windy day. 31 feet. We got that big of waves going on up here by Alaska. Let me go a day at a time here. I just want to see something. Look at the waves we got up here by Alaska. We got 35-foot waves up here. This is like the smallest freaking hurricane I've ever seen. This isn't a hurricane. This is a wind weapon. So yeah, 27-foot waves, 26-foot waves. I don't see it, man. Let's try the dust. See what the dust is doing. It's like a race against the dust. But not really, because look, there's dust all out ahead of it. This thing should not even be formed out here. This is the smallest hurricane probably in recorded history. Let's go ahead and fast forward it up. Got all this dust wrapping around. See, you know what? If this hurricane was as strong as they said it was, it would be sucking this dust up in there like crazy. It'd be like a vortex, like a vacuum cleaner. But it's not. It's not sucking the dust up into it. I think they are full of crap. Now, does that mean it's not going to flood? No, man. Everybody's getting flooded this year. We've been talking about Florida being flooded for the last 2 weeks. You know, you guys started getting hit around the 17th, 18th, and we called for major, flooding down there. You guys were the target for the 2-week forecast. So, guys, I mean, we're just going to have to keep watching this. But, I wish I could take this out a little farther. Now, the next thing we need to look at, though, is we need to run over. Well, we could probably do it here. Let me get it back on now. Let's get it back on the air. Let's go ahead and check the jet stream here, and let me fast forward it, see what the jet stream is going to do. Looking at it here, you can't even tell there's a hurricane over here. So let's take it up a day. There we are. We got, wind spinning the wrong way, right where the ionospheric heater is. It's spinning the wrong way. It's spinning clockwise. It's supposed to be spinning counterclockwise. Hey, thanks out there, little wing. That's right. So we have a couple spinning systems out here, and one of them is spinning the wrong way. This is spinning the wrong way. And this should be feeding the dust into the hurricane, taking apart the hurricane, but it's not. What the hell's going on here? Let's go up another day. So now you got wind shear coming in from a couple different directions. You got moisture, though. This will help with the moisture. You got the moisture being pulled up out of the Gulf of Mexico, and then part of it's being split off and going into the front side and then around. So that's going to be a pretty bad rainmaker there. But there's some funny business going on over here. Now the winds are back in the right direction. What the hell? Let me back that up again. How to get back into the right direction. So we have winds running the wrong direction, and just within one day, or actually one and a half days, then it finally straightens out. So that's pretty strange. All right, let me get it back to now. Let's go ahead and check the let's go about midway. Let's go about 850s. We're trying to see where the winds. We're watching all the storms up here, trying to see if a trough could blow it back out to sea. And like tomorrow's going to be a lot better looking at this, because we're going to get a little more closer to where we can see what it's going to do. Look, they're basically steering the winds all the way from the eyes cat up here, and they're steering the winds all the way over straight. Yeah, this is a weapon. This is not a hurricane at all. It's looking like some pretty good winds, 86 miles an hour, but we're up in 850. That's probably what they're doing. They're probably going up in elevation. Instead of giving you the surface winds, they're going to give you the winds up here, at 850 HPAs. That's roughly 1,500 meters. So that's about 4,700 feet up in the air. Then you're talking, 98 miles an hour, 90, pretty good winds. Let's take it on up. Because it's going to strengthen a little bit right here, because that's where the heated water is. So even this high in the storm, I'm trying to find the highest wind, 91, 108. You know, this is almost 5,000 foot up in the air, and we're still only getting 104, 105 mile an hour winds, and it's like a miniature hurricane. So I don't know, man. I would prepare, because it's definitely going to flood. I'd prepare for something bad coming, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as they say, at least not to these models. You know, from what I can tell and all the research I've done, there shouldn't even be a hurricane whatsoever out here anyway. But we'll just have to see. I mean, this is a weapon. This is not a normal storm at all. Yeah, they got that thing just doing hooks it shouldn't even be doing. It looks like they're trying to get it to the hot water. Let's go ahead and check the sea surface temperatures. You know, there is hot water right here if they can get it to there. And just fast forward to see if a heating, no, we can't fast forward that. How about these surface anomalies? You know, all the heat's way over here off the west coast where we're getting the earthquakes and we're getting, you know, buoys in event mode. Look, this is a heating event right here. We got the big waves over here, 35, 40-foot waves. This is the other part I don't get. You know, the darker colors are the cooler water. So this thing is going right through the cooler water. There is no heat anomalies out here. And then here's the actual, the temperatures, the surface temperatures. They're not as hot as these purples, so it's definitely not that hot. But the mainstream keeps saying it's running into hot water. It's not going to run into hot water till it gets right here off the coast. And if it goes over these, you know, these little islands, that should slow the hurricane down. So I think we need to start renaming these cyclones to something different other than hurricanes, because I don't think that's what they are. Let's go ahead and dig a little deeper on this, because I really didn't get to look at it a whole lot other than I've seen a few of the aerosols here. I mean, yeah, they're definitely hitting this hard. Like I said, I got people sent me photos in the email, and yeah, they're definitely out here. They're definitely on this side. You know, this tells us where they're steering the storms every time, whether on land, in the ocean. Look, they dropped like a chem bomb right here. So you got these aerosols right here. So you're spraying aerosols all over the Florida, right where they want it to go. You got these few rogue spraying operations. They're also spraying all over this. Let's see if I can pull it out a little better. And you got the big feeding spray. It's almost like they could overseed this thing. You know, there is such a thing of overseeding a storm and killing it out. So maybe they're trying to kill it out. Who knows? These people are madmen. Same thing's going on with this freak system up here in Illinois. I mean, this is just some weird spraying operations going into this. In fact, it's supposed to start raining here, so hopefully we don't get knocked offline. Let's go ahead and check the radars. Anyway, send prayers out for the people that's got to deal with this storm. I mean, look how little that thing is. That thing is not even like these little storms here over the Midwest. There's too many factors that are not making sense with this system. Anyway, waiting on this to load here. I want to thank everybody out there for sharing this. It looks like all you guys help sharing this stuff out. It looks like we passed the algorithms. We're we're pretty much back where we was July 20th. We finally went back over 52,000. I think we're right about where we was before they started, taking, 10 to 100 subscribers off a day. So thanks to everybody that got this shared out, got people watching this stuff. Yeah, they're going to wipe out the Epstein Island. That's what I think they're trying to do. That's just part of it's always multifaceted with all these weather system, with all the intentional fires. Everything's always for more than I mean, most of the time we can't find all the reasons till later on when we dig in, and then stuff keeps coming out, and then you find out there's 20 things they were doing this for. They're taking care of business in more than one way. When we look at this map here, a lot of people thinks this is the rain. This is not the rain. This is the cloud temperatures. And what you'll notice, let's let this kind of get back to the beginning. Look at the storms over here in the Baja. See it going up into the blacks? Now that's a badass storm right there. But this thing here, man, I don't know, man. I don't think it's a hurricane like they're saying. It's too small. There's too much dust. The heat that they're talking about is not there. There's wind shear coming from every direction. Too many aerosols. Too much dust particulates. No, there was a system behind it that was spinning clockwise, and it shouldn't have been. I mean, everything out here should spin counterclockwise. That's the way it spins in the northern hemisphere. So, you can kind of see it getting together there. You can see it got pulsed out. They definitely hit that thing with some frequencies. That's why they've hit it again since it's went around the Arecibo. So it's been hit at least 2 to 3 times with some electromagnetics. Definitely, yeah, you can see that. See how it took off and shot down? I need to get where we can see if that was aimed right at the Arecibo. Then I'll try to zoom in on it. So yeah, let's get down in here. We'll check out all the aerosols, man. Every storm. Wow, that one there was hit with something too. Yeah, let's let this load real good. Yeah, you're right, man. It should spin the way your toilet bowl flushes. A lot of people don't know that, man. If you're Hey, thanks out there, Agenda 21. Wow, well, let me show your message for some reason. There it goes. So they're saying it's a cat too now, man. They're full of shit. We could, you know what? We need to check the data buoys over here. That's going to give us, well, what do you know? The data buoys are off. They turned the freaking data buoy off. Look, this one's showing it going over and then up. So all the data buoys that we need out here are turned off. What assholes. There's a lot more data buoys out here. Here, I'm going to show you. So we're looking at 5806, 5807.5. So maybe a foot to a foot and a half, up and down motion. That's nothing. So we're still waiting on that to load. Let's try to zoom in on this a little better. Yeah, definitely. I'm not telling you not to take the storm seriously because they're flooding you out. They've been flooding you out and they're going to continue to flood you out. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying don't take it seriously. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying I don't the fear porn that they're putting out is just off the chart. You know, by the same models. I mean, I'm using the same models they are and I'm showing the winds and they're nothing like what they're saying. You know, just like Monday night, they said the same thing I said. You know, they said after they changed their mind, but they they said that it wasn't going to develop into anything. I mean, everything showed nothing should be there. Like you can't trust any kind of man-engineered storm, man. It could get out of control. Who knows? This thing could look at it wobbling, man. Look at that thing hopping and wobbling around. So right there's where the ionospheric heater is, and look at that thing. It's wobbling, and you got some. The ionospheric heater is on. Look, it's eating through the water vapor. You know, this is measuring the precipitation way up in the ionosphere, the troposphere. So when you're getting pieces cut out of it, that's not a stitching error. That means something is affecting the imagery. So something's in the way. They're stretching it. You know, and this atmospheric river should be flowing like this. It should be flowing like waves and circles. And it's all freaked out right here. Like they cut it off, man. Something is all kinds of manipulation out here. Just looking at this, I'm just like, man, they got this thing all freaked out. See, you got this pressure coming in here. Look, see all this? See how it's blowing down towards. See right here, this tells you right here you have wind and pressure. Cold air is heavier than the hot air. So you got this colder air coming down. This should be blowing this back out to sea. Look, it should go up and around. So look at this right here. This tells you right here everything is moving down towards, like everything is being pulled towards the hurricane. This should push it off or stop it, or, you know, the colder air is going to overrun the hot air every single time. It's heavier. All right, so let's see if this is loaded now. I mean, just look at the flow pattern right here. It's all flowing down. This is colder air. See, it's all coming right where the aerosols are being deployed, right where the bunker fuel is being deployed. Look, it's firing up these storms. Pushing down, pushing down, pushing down. It's like a race. It's a race of the colder air up against this fake miniature hurricane. Thanks out there, Super Chat. Who was that? Cassandra, thanks, much love. And third, 54, thanks, brother, sister. So yeah, man, this is all a race. I don't think the weather people have no idea what this thing is going to do. I really don't. I think they're guessing. You know, they're looking at the same things I'm looking at, and it makes for good TV. Regardless, you're probably going to get flooded out, and that's one thing that we'll be able to tell much more tomorrow. We're going to be able to tell where that thing's actually going to go, if it's going to get stuck there. But, you know, when I'm looking at this whole picture, the whole flow of everything, you got the cold versus the hot. The cold's going to win. It's too heavy. It's much higher. Look at the storms over the Midwest. These are way worse. You know, and in 2008, the Department of Justice, or the Department of Defense, They were going to weather modification seminars on how to control a hurricane. Have you guys ever seen that? I think it's over on Climate Viewer News. Let's take a look. Let me type this in here. Climate. We want the news. Let's go over here. Where's the search thing on this? Let me see if I can find it. I know he's got a search bar in here. Here, let me try this. Try the DOD steering hurricanes. Let me just try that. U.S. government has experimented with controlling hurricanes. Why are they not showing? There it is. Oh, no, that wasn't the right one, but this will probably get us here. His Homeland Security steering Hurricane Matthew. Okay, here it is right here. Hurricane Modification Workshop was in Boulder, Colorado, February 6th and 7th, 2008. So the methods to better understand the accurately predict the behavior of a hurricane to help better predict its future, blah, blah, blah. The project in partnership with the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, blah, blah, blah. How to halt the hurricane. A fleet of transport aircraft flying at 50,000 feet drops suit into the path of the target areas of the hurricane. The suit is warmed by the sun, heating the cool air around it. At the very top of the hurricane, this reduces the flow of the air within the hurricane and slows it down. Depending on where and when the suit is dropped, the now weakened hurricane will change course. How about that? Every major hurricane since Katrina has been hacked by the DHS. Nuclear hurricane for FEMA, I remember that. Like, here's the normal, kind of normal paths of the hurricanes. They don't come from over here and then wrap around. Like, there's probably not been one that's done that. Project Cirrus, yeah, that's a big one. I'm still not finding the workshop that they went to. The dogs keep freaking out. I don't know what the hell they're freaking out on. But anyway, the Department of Justice. Yeah, here it is. Hurricane hacking. The Department of Homeland Security enters the weather modification business. DHS working on steering hurricanes with Bill Gates. There he is again. And the top geoengineering scientists. You have all the patents right here. Water, altercation, structure, applications, and methods. United States patent applications. I mean, Jim Lee's got all this stuff already. Everything's right here. Yeah, that was the one they went to in February 6th and 7th. So the Senate and the Department of Justice and all these guys have been to these workshops on how to steer the hurricanes. So to think they're not tampering with it now, they're not creating it, is just crazy. They definitely are. Like, weather wars have been going on forever. Yeah, I know. They probably are, man. That's why I'm wondering. We'll probably get took out from the storms again every night. Like, you could see the synthetic clouds all around this. got beams coming out from somewhere. I don't know what them beams are. I can't remember what they are. You got snow going up over here in the Northeast. You know, Missouri has never hit triple digits this year. Texas had the coldest July on record. But yet they're telling us the planet is the hottest ever. We had, 7 feet of snow in Austria in one storm last year. We had the polar vortex. Oh yeah, I was going to show you that. Yeah, I kind of did have my my show like lined out just because I got home so late, so I just kind of been jumping around. But let me show you some clips from. There's no sound on these, but what they did, I forgot to get back into this. What they did back in wintertime, back around Christmas time. Now, we're looking at it right here in the upper left. What they did is they did a rapid heating event, just like what's going on down in the Antarctic right now. And what they did, it should loop up to it here in a minute. But they turned on the sky heaters over in Russia, and they created a rapid heating event. There was no solar stuff coming in. It was completely man-made. They blew this cold air mass over the United States, and then it drifted all the way over to Europe. That was the beast from the east. So once it blew over to Europe, it went too far. So then they heated it again from the other side and blew it back over the United States, and it stayed there. It stayed there for over a month. I mean, the cold was ridiculous this winter. I mean, it was unreal. I had a light bill that was over $1,000 for a month. That was before I had the house finished. I was burning wood, but I also had to run electric heat with no ductwork hooked to it. I mean, it about broke us. All right, so there's a heating event right there. It might be easier if I just show you live. I mean, we don't got a whole lot of time left anyway. Let me go over here and I'll just try to show you real quick. Get that scene. There we are. Okay, we're back. All right, let me go ahead and get this back on the air. We're going to put this on the temperatures. We're going to put it on the polar vortex up in the, ionosphere. So remember, we got this. I mean, this is a massive heating event. What the heck is going on? And you know why this is happening? There's a huge ass hole in the, in our, God dang, I can't even think right now. Our ozone. We got a huge hole in the ozone. Hey, thanks out there, Jim. And you know what? I was thinking these could be like a global scale electron proton precipitation induced by solar wind pressure pulse. But I don't think that's what it is. I know we just had a little bit of solar activity, but it wasn't enough to punch a hole into the, up into our, why can I not remember that word right now? Yeah, I'm looking for something right now. Man, I can't find it. Anyway, we got this giant ozone hole, which is leading to this rapid heating event. But what I want to show you is what happened back on Christmas. And we were in January 24th is when it started. Yeah, it was like they were sending us a Christmas present. So check this out. This is last December 24th. And let me just take this forward a day at a time. Now this is the cold Arctic air. And you got to remember this is winter time up here it's dark all year round, so there was no reason this rapid heating event should have happened unless they used a weapon to do it. There was no hole in the ozone up here. There was nothing. So I'm going to try to go through this and just click it a day at a time. And you're going to see, this might have been the second one, we'll see here, because they blew it too far and then they had to hit it again from the opposite side. All right, see how the cold air was leaving the United States? It got knocked over there to Europe, and that's what they were calling the beast from the east. Now watch what happened. I just got to keep, it's not loading real fast, but watch. I'll just keep on going through this. And you can see they turned the heaters down, and now all of a sudden the Arctic air is over Europe. And they didn't want it at Europe. They needed it over the United States. So what they do, look, they heated it from the other side. Now check this out. Here we are on January 6th. So they started pushing it from the other side. Remember, it started over here and it pushed it that way. Well, they went too far. So they fired the weather machine back up. And they're pushing it back. And they square dead center it over the United States. And it stayed right here. It stayed right here for over a month. There was no more heating events. Haven't had none since like 2014. That's what they did to us. That's what the weather makers did to us. And everybody remembers the cold this year. It was brutal cold. It wasn't like regular cold. It was different. It was colder than the temperature said. You know, that's what happened. And that's what they're doing now, but they're doing it down in the Antarctic. But the only difference is, let me get it back on now. The only difference is, up here we have a hole. We have a hole, you know, in the ozone. So that's pretty crazy. How the hell do we get a hole in the ozone that big? That's monstrous. So that's a weird event going on right there. Anyway, guys, I'm going to have to call this a show. Thanks everybody who helps us out, helps keep this operation going. People sending us stuff and all that good stuff. Anyway, guys, much love. Pray for the people in Florida. They're definitely getting hit by some kind of weather weapon. It's not a natural phenomenon. And let's just hope I'm right. Let's hope it's not as bad as they say. You know, they were hyping it up pretty bad like this for the fake Barry. And Barry, when in a tropical storm, it started out in the Midwest and never even got in the tropics, man. It started here and curved around Florida and then back up. Yeah, we got mega quakes going on. Then we still got the solar wind. You know, we'll make more sense of it tomorrow night's Friday. I'll have a lot more time. Hopefully. I don't know what work's going to be like, but no matter what, we'll get to the bottom of it. Anyway, guys, much love. Be safe out there if you're down there in Florida, anywhere along the East Coast. I'm telling you, the weather people, they have no idea, just like I really don't. I got to go by the models too. But I think they're maybe over ramping it up because they don't know. They were in the same boat as I was. There shouldn't have been any kind of development. Now we got some kind of micro hurricane out here. Anyway, guys, much love. Thanks for everybody that shares this out. Thanks out there to the mods, the D Live family, the Twitch family, and now the people that's watching this over on Brighton and Facebook and all that stuff. Anyway, guys, God bless. Be safe. No fear. Eyes to the skies. And we will keep our eyes on this stuff. Anyway, let's hit the song Rise. Crank it up.
near the center of Hurricane Hermine, right before it made landfall Thursday evening in Florida. You know what you're seeing there in the middle of the eye here? This is the eye.